Rome, an extensive empire reaching across Europe and spreading to Africa in its height. During this time, it had a population of over 1 million people and was the birthplace of revolutionary inventions used even by our modern world. Of these, one such remarkable engineering feat stands out, transforming the lives of Roman citizens all across the empire: Roman aqueducts and baths. The ability for the aqueducts to stand so long was no miracle of man. It was the work of Vitruvius, which helped resist age. Aware that too steep would provide too great a rushing water, and too parallel wouldn't supply any, he decided on a gradient of 1 to 4,800 to be stretched and lowered into the city. Aside from the patient slope, pipes were sealed and coated in a protective layer of lead. Vitruvius designed the flat-bottomed, arched, mostly underground tunnels using revolutionary tools such as levels, chorobates, and groma/dioptral theodolites. Usually 0.5 to 1 meter underground, they crept unseen into cities' water systems, supplying the people with not only drinking water, but with bath water as well.
Before the Roman baths, there were public baths in Greece. The Romans took this idea of a public bathhouse and expanded it into a larger complex. Most Romans at the time had water supplied to their houses via lead pipes, but the pipes were taxed by size, so many houses couldn't afford baths at home, so they just went to the bath complex since it was much cheaper. The baths were such a daily part of Rome that they were, in essence, a symbol of Rome itself. While they not only provided a social place to meet and talk with others, in Roman thinking, the baths proved that they were cleaner and therefore better than the people in other countries. The baths in Rome. By the end of the 1st century, huge public baths referred to as thermae were built. By 4th century AD, there were 11 public and 926 private baths in Rome. The bath of Diocletian was the size of a football field and held up to 3,000 bathers. Previously, before these baths, the Romans would only bathe about 2 times a year since this was acceptable. With the baths, they now could bathe every single day. So the ritual of the Roman baths was very important because they had a specific set of procedures and ways they would go through the bath. So here we have our average Roman citizen. So as you can see, he's very, very cute. So he decides he wants to go to the bath. It's afternoon and he's going to go take a bath like cool people do. So he's going to go. He's going to go this way to the entrance where he will probably pay some money. Okay, and so his first step is in the Aquaductarium or changing room, where he is gonna leave his clothes with a servant because robbery was not uncommon in that time. So he'd leave it with a servant. Sometimes he'd come with more than one servant because that meant that he had a better status. So after he goes to the changing room, he's going to go to the palestra or the gymnasium where he is going to work out, work up a sweat because they believe that sweat cleans the pores, makes him cleaner, and he's also going to get oiled down at this time. So his next step is going to be to go to the frigidarium. Guess by the name, frigidarium. is cold bath. So he's going to have a cold plunge bath after he exercises because that is refreshing. So after he goes to his cold bath, he can spend as much time as he wants there. He might get a massage too in the process. He's going to go to the warm room or the warm bath. This is like your standard pool at the YMCA. So he's just going to chill and have a great time in there. And then finally, his last step is the caldarium or the hot room. And this can be a heat room where he just kind of sweats and sits in a heat room, very hot. Or he can have a bath, and that bath would be called a lay room. Also at this time, an attendant's going to come around with a tool called a strigil. It kind of looks like this. And he's going to scrape all the oil off of him. So he's nice and clean. So he's had the oil on him this whole entire time. So after he's had a great time in the hot room, the hot bath, which is the lay room, he's going to, instead of just exiting, there's no exit. He's got to turn around. And he's going to go to the warm room where you'll have a warm bath again this time, except for he's oil-free. And then he's going to go back into the cold room where he can spend a long time in the cold bath, just having a refreshing bath. And then finally he'll go back to the gymnasium and back to the dressing room where he will get changed. And he will either decide to leave this way, or he will decide to stick around because there's going to be some booths selling food and other items. Okay? Because the baths were a social center, so there would be people, vendors selling food and drinks and little treats and all that. So that is the journey of our little Roman citizen. Roman baths. They do this every single day because they figured that it made them better than other people, made them cleaner, so therefore better. They would do this every day, and originally they thought it was okay to only bathe 2 times a year, which is disgusting and will make them really stinky. That's all. Yet even though the Roman baths were highly popular, some people did not like them. Building the Roman baths required an advanced system and architectural accuracy. Since the baths required a way of heating up water, the Romans designed a hypocaust system and a furnace. The system used water that was heated in a fiery furnace under the raised floors of the baths, often made with fireproof terracotta bricks. The furnace gave off streams that channeled through special chambers under the floors and in the walls. It was so efficient that the floors had to be very thick or they would be too hot to walk on. The Roman baths were also designed very intricately and decoratively. As you can see in the pictures, they were designed with mosaics and frescoes, and the Romans were very proud of them because they were in essence a symbol of art.
Fully depended on and used aqueducts. They were able to deliver 1 cubic meter of water per person in the city of Rome, which was roughly 1 million people. During its downfall, though, German tribes tried to cut their water sources off by destroying the aqueducts. And many Roman civilians also ended up destroying the aqueducts by siphoning their own sources. Centuries had gone by, and finally in 1453, Pope Nicholas V renovated some of the aqueducts, Aqua Julia, and in the 15th century they rebuilt the Aqueduct of Segovia. This brought a rebirth to the aqueducts. The aqueducts and bathhouses were two major aspects of Roman life. Made for the people, by the people, they revolutionized health and hygiene, along with being precursors to modern technologies.